Look, I'm going to be straightforward with this. There is no real data in this video. This, like some of my others, is in fact entirely just my opinion, and it tantamounts to just one long opinionated rant. If you are scared of AI, if you are threatened by it, either that fear is irrational or that fear is rooted in insecurity. AI is, of course, everyone's favorite buzzword right now, and all the companies that are building them are probably overvaluing them. Assuming none of the extinction events we face on a daily basis comes to bite us in the ass in 10 to 15 years, the novelty will most likely wear off, just like the novelty of the internet. And just like the internet, in 10 to 15 years, 30% of the world might still not have access to it. Technology has always evolved at an exponential rate, aside from minor setbacks here and there. Every major advancement has always come with the fear of job loss, creative death, and a general increase in the qualities of life typically reserved for the rich and powerful. And I know, this time is different, it feels different, but that is what everyone has ever said about new technology ever. This time is no different. Unless it kills us all, in which case we will all be too dead to bask in my wrongness. Existential threats aside, a lot of people seem to fear AI because of its capability to create videos, pictures, music, and poorly written stories for seemingly no reason. AI creates things based off, albeit, stolen data. But that isn't an AI issue. That's a why can I sign my rights away issue. That's a why does Adobe have the right to take away my product if I bought it, if I don't give them my data issue. An issue that festered over the last 20 years because our government and those who came before us let this become an issue. Data didn't just now become the world's greatest resource. Data has always been the world's greatest resource, called information, rebranded to make it sound like corporations are doing something new. But this isn't new. It's just gathered and abused in a different way. And we as a people kind of let that happen free of charge. And you could blame it on whatever you want, old people not knowing how to turn on a computer, running our government, corrupted politicians taking money from big tech, Republicans, Democrats, immigrants, or white nationalists. The truth is, the problem is here, and it's not new. And if we continue to treat it like it is, then we will keep putting band-aids over issues that are actually plaguing us. The fear that AI is going to steal our artists' data and hard work is absolutely ludicrous because that was already happening with or without AI. The fear that AI is going to let big companies mistreat their workers and pay them less or let them go for cheaper labor is idiotic because that was already happening. And if people really care that much about Disney making AI TV shows, then just stop watching them. Hell, stop mentioning them. Quit giving into the goddamn rage bait and giving their shows more exposure. Because people will watch them and they will realize it's terrible and they will stop watching them. And once that happens enough times, the show will be canceled. And once enough shows are canceled, they would eventually have to start giving a shit about the quality of their media. And if they don't, if they bankrupt themselves on this idiotic attempt, then why not subscribe to the competitors that don't? Or better yet, try making something yourself. If there's one day a giant Disney-shaped hole in the market, you better claw tooth and nail for that slice of that pie. It is your obligation, unless you're just a dumbass who doesn't like money. When Disney falls, make animated movies. When Ubisoft gets shut down, make video games. When the music industry tanks, make music. But let's say they don't fail. Let's say AI or AGI or whatever can create masterpieces and hallucinate itself into having the human spirit with the aforementioned limited supply of stolen data. If it is good enough for Disney to make successful movies, why shouldn't it be good enough for you and me? Why shouldn't there be an explosion of movies created that compete with them using the same tools? If you could slap together a shitty AI animated film in the next 5 years at the same quality of theirs, why shouldn't you? Taking their customers is the same thing as taking their money, and if they took your data for free, why shouldn't you return the favor and make millions while doing so? If AI is successful at replacing artists at the biggest companies in the industry, then there is no future where that very same technology can't be used by the artists to start their own studios. Can't figure out how to market your studio? Use a marketing AI. Can't manage your new business? Use a business AI. And the ones that succeed will be the ones that are truly creative and truly give the consumer what they want. Right now, ideas are cheap and talent is just pursued interest, but if this perceived threat to artists comes to fruition, then creativity and ideas would be the only commodity that actually matters and should be treated as such by our laws, our economy, and our government. If you are uncreative, fear AI. If you are irrational and ignorant to how we got here, then yeah, sure, fear AI. I honestly have no idea what the purpose of this video is, but I'm sure some will find this rant entertaining. And if you're confused at all about what my point was, or just tuned it out, my point is that creative artists have nothing to fear, and for the love of God, people need to start giving a shit about their data and not just when their favorite furry artists are out of business. And vote with such a mindset in every branch and every crevice of government. Vote with your vote, vote with your voice, your wallet, and most importantly, your attention. If anything, AI opens doors for the underprivileged, as all technologies of the past have. When the printing press was invented, more people were able to write and read all of a sudden. For all of history, the production of art has been reserved for the well-off, those with enough time to paint and write. The story of the starving successful artist is only 1 in a billion. Those of us who are working 2 or 3 jobs just to survive, or the soul-sucking, back-breaking hard labor, simply do not have the time or energy to practice. Everyone's always like, oh, what if the mind that cures cancer couldn't afford an education? But now that we are getting closer to a world where all education is free through the advent of AI, it's a problem. What if the mind that could paint the next Mona Lisa can't because they couldn't afford the paint nor the time to learn? AI would open the door for that person to be creative in a more efficient manner. I simply cannot see AI opening doors for those without financial freedom as a bad thing. I personally use AI because the fuck else am I supposed to do? I want to make games, mostly as a hobby, but it is an extremely time-consuming hobby. Sure, if I can't afford artists and musicians, I would use them, hell yeah I would. But for those of us with a $5 budget and a dream, why shouldn't we use it? Why shouldn't the average consumer want that? If the big corporations can get washed out by the indie dev community and thus result in cheaper, funner games, then why shouldn't that happen? I'm also not an idiot. I would like to think that most people attempting game dev aren't. People will learn to strike a balance between using AI and doing it manually. The best stuff has always come from people who learned to do a combination of both the old technology and the new. 3D animation started within 2D animated films in films like Hercules, and that film did pretty good. Instead of creatives fearing it, we should use it. Learn it before the big corporations further solidify their monopolies over creativity. And I still don't know how to really end videos yet, so to those listening to this verbal vomit in the background as they work, keep working at it, and good luck out there.